Nintendo fans are bending over backwards to defend this shit. This mediocre bullshit, which is what it is. And you're not gonna tell me any differently that this isn't mediocre bullshit. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So hopefully Jewel will get in when she can. But we're about to go live. And we are live with another episode of BS Busters. I'm joined by not Jewel Rider Moonstar. I guess she's currently unavailable, but I guess she'll get in when she can. So that being said, let's have the other person here introduce themselves, and then we'll dive. I'll give you the overview of what we've got coming up, and then we'll get started. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
It's Kanoshi Abominito saying, Nintendo, you done goofed.
Yes, and it's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. So we've got a decent amount of topics to cover tonight. We've got we're going to be discussing the 20th anniversary of the PS2, Nintendo's online expansion pricing, Valve actually doing a good thing. The worst RPGs we've ever played. Now, I have a video coming up next week where I'm going to have a list of the worst RPGs I've ever played. But while I was writing out the worst RPGs I've ever played and why, I thought, this will be a good topic, so I added it. And we're finishing it up with the AOL of the week. We also have free topic. Anything you want to add, you can as we go through. But let's get to it. So, you want to do Nintendo's online expansion first? Or do you want to
Let's
do the
get that out of the way.
PS2?
So,
Okay, all right, go.
no, I woke up today hearing, Nintendo taking a big enough dump of my oatmeal, talking about, oh, look, there's more information about the expansion pass. Oh, looky. And then, I was like, okay, that looks okay. Hopefully it's like, you know, yeah, hopefully it's just a $10 to $15 price increase. Nope, it's a full 250% increase, which brings it up to $50 a
Yeah.
month if you want the good old Sega Genesis classics as well as the N64 classics. You only get like 10 64 games. I don't know how many Genesis games you get.
You get 9 N64 games, but not at launch. They're going to be adding them. So basically, for this year, you get the usual suspects for the NES and the SNES that they've had, and then you get kind of like the usual suspects with the N64 with one or two. Well, I didn't see that coming. That type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you get a few Genesis games for, $50 a month. I mean, like I said last week, Nintendo wants to charge $60 for their online service, and this is essentially how they're going to do it. But I mean, you can get a lot of those games on the Wii and the Wii U, for one thing, so you actually own them.
Or
And
yeah, you're right.
you still don't have the basic features, the online features for the Switch. You still gotta use an app if you want to use voice chat and being able to talk to your friends,
Well, don't
this
they
is kind
still
of like,
have the online voice app, but like no one uses it because it sucks?
yeah, nobody uses it because it's just kind of, well, if I have to use a third party, I'm practically using a third party app, so I might as well use Discord.
Yeah.
But that's fine if you're charging only $20 a year, but now you're hiking out to $50 a year. Why can't I do all that stuff on the Switch now?
Yeah, yeah, it is a little on the underwhelming side. Because here's the thing. Uh, I don't think, like, for me, it's not the price that bothers me. It's what you're getting for the price. Because, for 10 to $15 more, like, you could get games for Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Live, and get access to more stuff than that. You can get PSN, which is $70 a year now, 80. And you
I
get
think it's still 60.
no,
But,
because the big hubbub years ago was PSN raised their prices. Let me look it up.
so they
PSN
raised their prices again.
yearly price, yeah, because it used to be commensurate with yearly cost. PSN yearly cost. No, 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 I lied. It's still $60.
Okay.
So for $60, you get access to a larger library of games. You get access to um, voice chat through the system. That's okay because I've tried PS Plus voice chat. It's okay. Um, you get your monthly games that you can download and play. I mean, it's just like it just feels like like I would rather Nintendo. Like, okay, everyone's always like Nintendo doesn't follow other people's leads. In this case, I think they really should follow other people's lead. Like, and here's the thing: Nintendo is sitting on this massive library. Because if Nintendo said, "Hey, the Nintendo Online as it is right now, the base, just voice chat and shit like that, that's $20." But we also have our Nintendo expansion. It's $50, but you get access to this huge library of NES, SNES, N64 games. And we have like 100 NES games. We have 100 SNES games. We have like 50 N64 games. Like, people wouldn't say shit. They'd be like, "That's 250 games, $50. That is roughly 50 cents per game."
And I don't see anybody defending it. At least because
Oh,
the video.
there are people defending it. Go on Twitter. You'll.
Oh, jeez, because that video got ratioed. At least the dislike to like ratios was pretty big for a Nintendo video.
Yeah, I was looking
Uh,
forward to it. Like if they had said, "Hey, it's like $40," I would have said, "Okay, fair enough." But for you to charge 50, which is a little bit less than um, what you'd pay from Sony or Microsoft, and to get this measly amount of content, I have a problem.
yeah, exactly. So who have you sent to defend this? What sort of arguments are they trying
Man,
to
you know who's defending
concoct?
this, man. You know who's defending this. I'm not gonna name any
Uh,
names, but you know who's defending it. Okay,
oh,
the usual
jeez.
suspects of people are defending this. Okay,
Uh,
I'm not gonna. This is a non-drama channel. I don't. This isn't like certain people's channels where they just sit there. All they do is just fucking drum up drama because that's what they like to do. I don't do that. I don't like drama. Okay, I look, poli sci major, sociology major. So that means I see the world through societal ills and political ills. I see enough drama in my life. I do not go on YouTube for drama. Okay. Uh,
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, what? You don't have to say any names, but like, what are some of the arguments that are?
the arguments.
What are
Okay.
some?
I've heard arguments where people say I'm being a hypocrite because this is a shoddy deal, but I'm going to get it anyway. And that's someone admitting that it's bullshit, but they're a Nintendo fan. I've heard people ignore how pitiful this how pitiful this selection is, and talking about someone doing a speed test with the new OLED dock. Saying, well, actually, it's like, no, look, listen, okay. You sitting there saying, well, it's not Nintendo server, it's who they're buying the server from. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is the end result experience for the people who bought the shit, okay? So
Yeah.
if you're playing a game that's reliant on an online connection and your online connection is being throttled, you're going to have a shitty gaming experience.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people can't seem to wrap their head around when they. And this doesn't. This goes for every company. If it's all, oh no, it's not their fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's somebody else's server. Somebody else made this game. But Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo, they called it. They made the final call, and they allowed a shoddy product to go through, and
Yeah,
it got to the end user who paid for it. It's really not. It's not the problem of the end user. It's
yeah,
the problem of the people delivering the service.
yeah. It's not my problem. Like here's the thing, okay? As a consumer, if I paid you $350 or $400 for your product, and it's not, and I have a dynamite internet internet connection, and it's not utilizing my internet connection, that's not my fault. It's the product's fucking fault. Okay? It's like
Yeah.
if I have a car, it's like remember when BMW had that shit where it turns out all those diesel vehicles they fucking nerfed, they doctored the fucking they doctored the emissions tests to make it seem like they were more fuel efficient than they actually were. And BMW had to take that shit back. That's not the consumer's fault. People are like, well, how could you buy it? Look, they were bamboozled. Ultimately, it's the people who sold the product's fault that the shit's not working the way it should. Okay, as a consumer, I paid my money expecting in good faith I was getting what I was advertised. Okay? I mean,
Yeah.
the implication if someone sells you a product that has an Ethernet connection is that I can plug in my Ethernet jack into it and it's going to utilize my Ethernet speeds. And you're going to think, okay, well, I have high speed internet, so it's going to use my high speed internet, like your computer does, or other modern systems. But
Yeah, I mean,
apparently, that's too much to ask for.
it's not just servers; it's also the bit rate of the actual device you're using.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
because some of the because you have gigabit Ethernet and you get 10 gigabit, and it just goes on from there. So
All I'm
yeah,
saying is
that
this. They went, once again, Nintendo went cheap. They cheaped out
yeah,
on shit that they should not have cheaped out on. Because that's what they do.
I remember the first run of the GBASPs. They were a bit cheap. They were cheaply made. They could break pretty easily.
Yeah, I remember they said you can't open them a certain way or they might break. It's
Yeah.
like the clamshell. Now, I never had a GBASP because I had a Game Boy Advance, and everyone's like, "Well, it has a backlight." I'm like, I don't give a fuck about a backlight because remember, I'm an old school Game Boy player, so I'm the guy who would basically like just have a light on in my room when I played my Game Boy under the covers or whatever. So bad eyesight. I don't care. I can't see. I'm gonna play it anyway. Um, but anyway, yeah. They messed up. That's on them. But yeah,
Yeah.
like people are like, well, actually, no. Look, I sell you a product. Okay, if someone sells you a product, like the customer doesn't care. Well, like if you go to a restaurant and you buy a meal, like you buy something and it's fucked up when it gets to your table, you don't care that the person that the chef, the cook who made the meal was having a bad day. You want your shit coming to your table in an edible fashion. Okay? And
Yeah.
that's what you're paying for. I don't get, I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel sorry if someone's having some, horrible stuff happen to them, but ultimately you expect the product to be delivered. You don't want a car
Yeah.
that's falling apart while you're driving down the road. Well, the person who assembled this car was having a bad day. It was a lady. She was PMSing real bad. She was cramping real bad, and her boyfriend was fucking around on her. She was just having a real bad day. I don't give a fuck about that. I want my car to be in good shape. yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and to the person that says like, yeah, it's a bit of a shoddy product, I'm gonna get it anyway. I mean, I kind of understand that because I picked up the Super Mario 3D All Stars collection because it was the cheapest way to have three of those games, in a physical form. But
you
at the
feel like
same
you got
time,
suckered, huh?
yeah, yeah, still
They
feel like it's
they
like,
suckered
oh,
you a little bit, huh? Yeah. Well, I mean, look, man, it's hard to fall for those fallacies. Now, see, I went to private school where I had to learn logic and shit, so I can recognize fallacies like no one's business. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, they're using the fear of missing out fallacy and limited time fallacy. And I'm not falling for that. Like, because I mean, first of all, I still have my original Mario games. Like, I have Mario 64, I have Mario Sunshine, I have Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I have those games. So you trying to resell shit that I already own to me, and you're not adding anything new to it. I'm like, I mean, I could see if they did something new. Like if they said we're remaking Mario 64 in the Mario Galaxy engine, like they did some of those levels in Mario Galaxy 2. Like if you went to the Super Special Galaxy, like they remade entire Mario 64 levels in the Mario Galaxy engine, I would be down with that. But you know,
like the Sega Genesis collection on Steam where you have a rewind feature, you get save states, and same with the rare replay, you get that too. Uh, yeah, it's just kind of like you obviously get higher resolutions, and in some cases the games are a lot more stable than you remember them playing when you were playing them on the original console.
yeah,
But with the 3D All Stars, nah,
it's like they did the
they're not
bare
really gonna
minimum,
do that.
and they were like,
Yeah,
"We're
we'll
gonna do the
give you
bare
a
minimum, and you're gonna be happy with it."
we'll give you an OST. How about that, kids? We'll give you OSTs, and then you know,
Which you
oh
can
well, I
buy
mean,
at any time. You can buy the OST for those games. You can get them. You can buy them and download them. It's not hard.
and
So
then
you know,
maybe we'll spruce up the resolution a little bit, but yeah,
yeah,
that's all. That's all we're gonna give you.
it went
Have fun.
720p. They didn't add any other new content to the shit. And I don't
Yeah.
like that. Like I don't. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird how how these companies treat their legacy stuff sometimes. It's
Yeah, they do. They
like
really do
why?
not. I mean, here's the thing, okay? Like with Nintendo, it's like it seems like no one can get the middle ground. Like Nintendo either treats their legacy shit, they either ignore it. Like you're either going to be like Nintendo, where they ignore like 85% of their legacy content, or you're going to be like Sega and Capcom, where they pimp the shit out of their legacy content to the point where it loses its value. You know,
Yeah,
and Square
yeah,
Enix. So at a certain point, it's like, can there be a happy medium between the two extremes? And I understand that Nintendo is a small company. They don't have the resources of a Microsoft or a Sony or some shit like that. But damn.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I just don't get it either.
I don't get it. But I'm tired of talking about the shit.
Yeah, that's the next topic.
Yeah, the next topic is none other than one of my personal favorites. Uh, The 20th anniversary of the PS2. Yes, this year is the 20th anniversary of the PS2. Now, even though of the 6th gen consoles, my personal favorite is the GameCube, followed by the Dreamcast. For a lot of people, their favorite 6th gen console is none other than the Sony PlayStation 2. So, with that being said, let's talk about the Sony PlayStation 2. When did you get your PS2?
I got my PS2. I think it was within the first. It's around 2000. Probably 2002.
It's fair.
So yeah, that's when I got it.
Yeah, it came out in
First game I
2000.
got. Yeah, came out 2000. I think it was 2001, 2002. Remember the first game I had for it was the Spider-Man video game. Uh, yeah, the Spider-Man video game movie. The one for the movie. That was the first game I had for it, and it was one of the few times I actually, I think it was one of the last times I played a licensed game that was enjoyable. Um, I mean, I guess there's a couple other examples, but yeah, and I think in that same year I also got Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy.
Yeah.
Uh, also, which honestly is the worst out of the three games.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
it's it's. I would say it's the. I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, it's not terrible. It's just mediocre. Like the
yeah,
platforming
yeah.
sucks. The combat sucks. The hit detection is hit or miss. A lot of the challenges are way too fucking hard for how shitty that game controls.
It, yeah, it was super short. You can beat that game in an afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's not that short, but it is pretty short though.
It's a
What game are you
standard.
guys talking about?
Jack and Dexter, the first
Oh,
Jack and
okay.
Dexter. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we had initially started. Our first topic was Nintendo's online expansion pricing, um, and then we moved on to we're talking about the 20th anniversary of the PS2, and he's talking about his first launch games for the title. I didn't get the PS2 when it first launched. I waited until I was in college, so I didn't get my PS2 until 2006. I was
Oh,
in my second year in college. I waited a long time. I had my GameCube, I had my N64 that was good enough for me for a while. But then when all those RPGs started dropping for the PS2, and I'm an RPG fanboy, so I had to make the jump. I had to make the jump.
Mm.
I had to make that jump. So I didn't get the PS2 at launch because, like I said, I was obstinate. I waited. The first games I got for my PS2 was I got the whole Ratchet and Clank trilogy because I got my PS2 on sale at GameStop for like $69, a used one, and I basically, no, it wasn't game, it was EB at that time. This was before GameStop took over the EBs in my area, and I got all of the Ratchet and Clank games, the ones that were out at the time. I got those for like $30, all three of them new.
Wow.
I got I didn't get they didn't have Jack and Dexter, the first Jack and Dexter. I've since gone back and played that game and realized how shitty it is, so I'm okay not having bought that game. I instead got Jack and Dexter 2, which that game is great. Like
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Jack and Dexter 2 is so much better than the first game. It's like if the first game is Street Fighter, Jack and Dexter 2 is Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And then Jack and Dexter 3, which goes too dark. But it's not terrible, it's just too dark. I wonder why we never got the Ratchet and Clank Jack and Dexter crossover that the world has been begging for.
The what crossover?
Jack and Dexter crossed with Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I'm surprised it never happened.
Because those are both Sony first party games. And it really, I mean, consider it Jack and Daxter is this alien sci fi world, and Ratchet and Clank is an alien sci fi series where they're going to different planets and traveling around. It makes sense that those two duos would team up to take on a greater threat. Like, why have they not done that yet?
Yeah.
It's like, wouldn't it be cool to have a Donkey Kong and Mario game where Mario and Luigi team up with Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That would
Yeah,
make
that'd
sense.
be nice.
Free ideas here, Nintendo. Free ideas. Anyway, steal them. Just give me credit for it. But anyway, yeah. So I got those games, and then I got Dragon Quest VIII. Not for the Final Fantasy 12 demo that came with it, but because I was a Dragon Quest fan. And Dragon Quest VIII was great on the PS2. I would say that's one of the best. That's one of the best Dragon Quests I've ever played, and that game was developed by Level 5. So, Level 5. So, I mean, that game was great. Then I got Final Fantasy 12, Dark Cloud, which Dark Cloud was an early game that came out on the PS2, and it's kind of rough on around the edges, but there's some good ideas in there. Dark Cloud 2, little bit like they cram too much stuff into that game. There's too much stuff going on. But then they fixed it with the unofficial Dark Clouds 2 sequel, which is Rogue Galaxy, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, Rogue Galaxy, when they were advertising it, the problem with Level 5's games, especially during that era, during the PS2 era, was that people always misadvertised them. Because, like, Dark Cloud was supposed to be the Legend of Zelda killer. They're like, well, yeah. It's like, not really. Like, Dark Cloud, the only thing that Dark Cloud and Legend of Zelda have in common is that both games star a character who wields a sword and who doesn't really talk and has pointy ears and brown hair.
Well, the thing is, right? Because I remember that must have been the game people were sorry, people were talking about when because people were like, oh, Zelda's coming to the PlayStation 2. I remember as a kid because I was like, what, like 12, 13 at the time. I didn't know how copyright really worked.
That shit ain't happening.
So, yeah, I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. That must have been the game they were talking about.
Because Sony advertised it as being the Legend of Zelda killer. Like, because I remember reading the video game magazines, because your parents would go to the store and you're like, I don't want to fucking listen to them go on and on about bullshit. So you'd go to the magazine rack and grab a video game magazine and read the shit while your parents are shopping. Or at least that's what I'd do. So I'd read through it, and I'm like seeing this advertisement, like, this is the Legend of Zelda killer. And the thing like looked like some shit out of Link's Awakening. Or not Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, the art style.
Well, the thing is, it's not even really. Yeah, it did. That game did look like a
late
really
N64 game.
Yeah, it looked like
expansion
a
pack.
N64 games.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, look, listen.
It really did.
I mean, like, okay, the dungeons were procedurally generated, so it's like using a lot of the cells over and over and over again. Because, like I said, the only thing that game had in common with Legend of Zelda is that the main character is a young dude who doesn't really talk and has pointy ears and uses a sword. Aside from that, it really has nothing to do with Legend of Zelda. Like, I'll give you an example. You know how Breath of the Wild, Link's weapons break in the middle of a fucking fight and you just got to get another weapon? In Dark Cloud, they solved that shit. Because in Dark Cloud, you have weapon dust and, like, angel weapon dust. And weapon dust, you can stop in the middle of a fight and pour it on your weapon, and it restores its endurance so that your weapon doesn't break in the middle of a fucking fight. And if you use an angel weapon dust, you don't even have to go into your inventory. It automatically repairs your weapon while you're fighting. This is some shit they figured out years ago that Nintendo just couldn't get working on Breath of the Wild.
They just didn't have time because they were turning out that engine.
I guess. I guess. I think that was a design choice. They're like, yeah, we'll build it around you finding weapons all the time. Yeah, that's great. That's a stupid design choice. I'm sorry. I stand by that. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Dark Cloud was great. I mean, almost all the games I played on the PS2 were great. Like the games that were exclusive to the PS2 were great. Multiplats sucked. Multiplats on the PS2 always sucked. I don't know why.
Whoa.
Yeah, multiplats for the PS2. Like the definitive version of Tales of Symphonia is on the GameCube, even though it was also released on the PS2. The definitive version of Resident Evil 4, GameCube, even though it was also released on the PS2.
Crazy. The GameCube should have sold more.
What?
The GameCube should have sold more.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Sony has always had the marketing game down. Because here's the thing. If you asked me, like, would I take a PS5? I'd say yes. What games are you looking forward to in the first year of the PS5 being out? None of them. There are no games right now on the PS5 where I'm like, I absolutely want like, those games are enticing me. But Sony's marketing is good. People will buy a Sony product. Even though most of them aren't really that good. But anyway. Yeah, the PS2 was, I would argue the PS2 was a better console than the PS1. Because the PS2 had enough power for games to look pretty good if the developers knew what they were doing. You could make huge games on the PS2. The RPGs that were on the PS2 started to branch out and stop trying to be Final Fantasy VII. they did their own thing on the PS2, which I like. It was backwards compatible with the PS1, so that's how I played my PS1 games on the PS2. Because I never got a PS1. I waited until the PS2 came out, and then they finally broke me. I'm like, okay, because there was a certain point where the game stores were selling PS1 games for like $1. Like, you could take $20 and just grab a stack of them out of a box for $20. And I was like, yeah, like, this is the perfect time to buy PS1 games. And I did. So that's how I got my collection of PS1 and PS2 games. But anyway, yeah, the PS2 was a great console. Still, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, and halfway through its life, yeah, you could get a lot of decent games for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and one of the nice things about the PS2, so significantly different than what they're doing with the PS5. Their first party games were actually cheaper. Jak 2 and 3 were $40 when they first came out.
Yep, and I got mine. I got mine used. I know I got a lot of games used from EB Games back in the day, but like, I know after a certain amount of time they would discount their games. Like, you could go and get Jak and Daxter for like $10-15 if you knew where to look.
Now they're just trying to double and triple dip when it comes to their games.
Yeah, you bought the console, like, now you got to pay for all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, people, just different people in charge, I guess. Not to mention the ballooning costs of game development, but again, why does it have to be our problem?
I repeat, not my problem. Like what's his name? Like Reggie Fils-Aimé said, not my problem.
Not my problem. Yeah, exactly.
It's not my problem.
Well, I mean, you could scale back the graphics and creating more focus on more stylized art styles rather than making things look as shinier as possible. But
they can't, because they've doubled down on graphics. They can't dial them back. But do you have any thoughts about
the PS2?
The PS2, yeah, because we're celebrating the 20th. Well, actually, it's the 21st anniversary, but I decided to add the PS2 in as well. Do you have any thoughts about the 20th anniversary of the PS2?
Yes, the PS2 was the only non-Nintendo console I got.
All right.
since then it was Nintendo only, along with PC sometimes. But I want to say I got quite a few games on it, but not as many as like on the Wii and GameCube. But my favorite games on PS2 were Dance Dance Revolution games. I played Star Wars Battlefront, Pac-Man World 2, and some of the other Star Wars games. Like it was basically a Star Wars and Dance Dance Revolution machine. Oh, and I got the iToy game.
Yeah, yeah. I did not get the iToy because I knew when that came out, I was like, "This is gonna be some bullshit."
Oh.
Yeah, I've always felt that peripherals for systems, unless the system comes with a peripheral, the peripheral's probably just gonna be it's gonna be under supported, and the games are gonna be like throwaways. Um, and thus
Oh.
far, I've never been wrong. The only game that I've played that you had to get a peripheral to buy, and it felt like it was worth it, was I went to a friend's house and played Half-Life Alyx.
Oh.
But it feels like Half-Life Alyx feels like a real game. Like, cause think about it, most of the games that you've played with a peripheral felt like a tech demo,
Oh.
except for Wii Sports, and that was a pack-in. They didn't charge you for that. As a matter of fact, there was a point that you could go up to any the video game department in any big box retailer when the Wii was out and ask for a copy of Wii Sports, and they would give it to you. They wouldn't even charge you for it. They were giving it away, and that was a legitimately fun game.
Yes. Another peripheral I have to add is like the VR for PS4 seems pretty cool. I haven't played it, but I really want to play Astrobots on it. Like that seems so cool.
Well, it's accessible because I played like 3 games on the PSVR for the PS4. I have a PS4 Pro.
Oh.
And I don't have the VR for my thing because I don't like putting shit on my face. But I went to a friend's house and played it on theirs, and like here's the thing. If I had to compare, if you like, it's not the best VR experience. It's good enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if you want a burger and you don't want to go to a really nice burger place that has a line out the door and the burgers like you don't want to wait in line for 10, 15, 20 minutes for a burger. You go someplace like Burger King, and a Burger King burger is good enough. It's good enough. That's the PSVR. It's good enough. It's like I want VR, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on the really, really good shit.
Right.
PSVR. Which is, I know that's not a ringing endorsement, but that's the best I can. Because like the best VR is you got to get something like the Oculus Rift or the Valve Index. And those are like $1,000 if you want the best experience. They're expensive.
Oh, I have one.
What, a Valve Index?
The Oculus Quest.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, the Oculus Quest is the sequel to the first Oculus, and they kind of pared it down a little bit, but that's still a very premium, virtual reality experience.
Yeah. True.
So, like PSVR is like, it's kind of like if you ever been to a concert. You ever been to a concert, Kirby Lover?
Oh,
like a musical
yes.
concert, like
Yes.
like PSVR is like sitting in the middle. You're not at the back, but you're sitting in the middle. Like the best seats are in the front, or VIP. So VIP is like the Oculus Rift or the Oculus or the Valve Index. But if you just want to go to the concert and hear the thing, you're not gonna get back. You're not gonna be able to go in the back and meet the artist. You're not going to get the champagne room. You're not going to get any of the nice stuff. But you got to hear the music. That's the PSVR, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
It'll get you there. You know, you get to experience it, but it's not the best. But that's neither here nor there. Are there any notable games you guys had on the PS2 where you're like, this game is friggin' awesome?
Oh yeah. Shadow of the Colossus is okay, but I can see why a lot of people really like it.
I mean, I like the concept of Shadow of the Colossus. Like you're fighting. Well, actually, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying you're fighting. You're murdering these giant colossi for no reason.
Yeah.
Because it turns out you're the bad guy, which I don't like stuff like that. I don't like playing as the villain in games.
Oh, I see.
In Shadow of the Colossus,
You
you're
aren't
totally
really
the
the
villain.
bad guy.
What?
Well, I mean, I know the ending, so if you don't want me to spoil it,
No, I know the ending as well. You're the villain in that game. You're the bad guy.
but it's because of the demon.
Yeah, but you're doing messed up stuff in order to you're the villain, and it turns out Shadow of the
Yeah, that's
Colossus
true.
is a prequel to that other game that guy made.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a prequel because your character gets turned into that cursed kid with the horns from the first game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a prequel to that game. Here, I forgot. Here, let me look up this guy's Shadow of Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus. I know a lot of people like that game. I'm not one of those people. I kind of don't really Eco. That's the name. Eco. Eco. Shadow of Colossus is a prequel to Eco. Because in Eco, you play this kid with horns on his head who's a cursed child, like an evil cursed child. And it turns out, like, the reason you're an evil cursed child is because at the end of Shadow of Colossus, your character was this guy killing these colossi who were basically existed solely to keep this evil being chained away. And by you killing them, in order to save your character, in order to save his girlfriend, you get turned into this little demon child with horns, this baby, and she spirits you away after you freed this evil. So it's a prequel.
Yeah, yeah.
Reminds me of The Omen.
Say what?
It reminds me of The Omen movie.
You mean the one with Damien? Stuff like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I mean, those aren't really prequels, though.
I know, I'm saying the character.
I mean, the kid's not evil. He's just got horns because he's been cursed.
Right. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to talk to you all about my thoughts about the Nintendo expansion.
All right. What do you?
So I think it's a little too expensive. Well, actually, it's quite expensive.
What's too expensive?
The online.
For Nintendo's online?
Yes.
I mean, like, okay, if they were offering more games, it wouldn't be too expensive. It would be a great bargain.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting
you're
for
getting
too.
like 30 N64 games, you're getting 30 Sega Genesis games, I'd say, hey, that's a good deal. $50, no problem. But for the minuscule amount they're offering, it's not worth $30. Nintendo wants people to pay $30 more, but it's not worth $30 more.
Should have been $10 more. I'd be okay with it, or 20. I mean,
Yeah,
20 would have been even then a little too expensive, but I'd go with it. But
but
they have to have a lot more games.
yeah. Like for me, I'm definitely gonna wait until they have more games to that library before I spend $50 to play them.
Yeah, I really want to play Yoshi's Story and Sin and Punishment as well, but that'll have to wait.
I mean, you can get Sin and Punishment for the Wii if you have a Wii, or
Oh
Wii
yeah,
U.
I do have a Wii.
Get it. you can get it on your. I think if you get Sin and Punishment too, I think it comes with Sin and Punishment as an unlockable,
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
and then you own it. You can you can do whatever you want to with it. You don't have to pay their
Let me
ridiculous
research
pricing.
it
I think. But anyway, yeah. Kenoshi, any
because I've
thoughts?
been one.
No, go ahead.
Any thoughts on what?
Do you have any thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
No, I'm good.
All right. I could be wrong. I think either they released Sin and Punishment on the Wii Virtual Console or it came with the game. Like you could unlock it. Either way, Sin and Punishment 2 is a really good game, so you can't go wrong. I don't know if you can find it because it was a limited release.
I'll order it online.
Okay, man, your money. Our next topic: Valve did a good thing.
Oh.
What's that?
I know people like to talk about how Valve is terrible. They're the devil. They're evil. They they eat people's children. But really, Valve isn't really like Valve when it comes to evil companies. Valve is really not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, like really, I mean, if you had to support a company, Valve is not a bad company to get behind and say, "Oh, they're not that bad." So here's what Valve has done. Okay, Valve has banned games based on blockchain tech with NFTs. But Epic seems down with adding them to its store. So basically, here's what they've done. So basically, Valve has banned games. Has banned games that use blockchain technology on its platform. Now, for those of you, what blockchain is where you basically use the power of your computer to mine for a non-fungible token, which means you can't return it.
Oh.
And basically, like you block through you mine, it crunches data, and it's like a block of data, and whoever crunches through the block of data the fastest and gets to the end, gets to keep that whole block, that NFT. The problem is that it uses a lot of energy. It's incredibly wasteful, and it fucks up the environment. So
there's gonna be a lot of that's the problem with a lot of the that's one of the problems. It isn't the only problem, but it's one of the problems of the chip shortages is the crypto mining.
Oh yeah. That's it's. I mean, basically, you have crypto mining, which was already kind of booming since 2016, 2017. But then you factor in new products are coming out that utilize chips. So everyone, like all of these industries, whether legal or illegal or in a gray area, are trying to get their hands on the same finite resource, and there's not enough of it to go around. So yes, that's why the chip shortage is such a big deal. But anyway, yeah. So Steam said we're not going around with that.
Yeah, it's yeah, and honestly, that could create more problems. So is it that it is allowing you to mine? The games are allowing you to mine cryptocurrency,
Yes.
or is it that it's yeah,
Yeah, the games. Like, here's the thing. For games where you're not directly mining cryptocurrency, the developer has them on a server, and those servers are using some of the computing power from the gameplay. From people logging into that server and using the services, they're using some of that computing power to mine crypto. You might not. Here's how you can tell if if you have a really good connection on a server based cloud-based platform, but for some reason, like sometimes it runs like shit during certain hours of the day when you're playing that game. It might be being used for crypto mining.
So essentially, these games are pyramid schemes.
Well, they're
They're
not pyramid
developing a pyramid
schemes.
scheme.
It's just they're
Schemes.
using the game as a backdoor so that they can use the computing power to mine cryptocurrency on your end. Think of it like this, okay? You open up a store and you let someone come in and you open up a symposium, you let people come in and be vendors. The vendors are selling something, but then on top of using your location to sell something, they also use your location to set up a secondary transaction on the outside with other people, which is shady as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what Valve is like. You're not doing this. Epic did a 180-degree turnaround because when Valve said we're not going to let you do that, they said, yeah, you can come over here and do that. Which Epic's going to be okay with until NFTs get banned and made illegal in certain places, and then like Epic's going to be like, oh no, they're not doing illegal shit. Yeah, but it is though. It's shady as fuck. NFTs are shady as fuck. Like really fucking shady. Like
The thing about
Wow.
the thing about cryptocurrency, I know people are singing its praises right now, or at least certain people I listen to sing its praises. It's just like it's always so up and down.
well,
Never it never stays consistent. One
well,
second you could be making money, next second you could be losing a whole bunch of money. It seems like it, but I guess it's probably like that with anything.
well, the only people who really make money on cryptocurrency are the people who have massive server farms where they can, crypto mining farms where they have tons and tons of PCs uh, mining the blocks. Those are the only people who really make money. Joe Blow consumer who might have an extra graphics card and CPU, GPU mining in their basement, just hooked up mining. They're not really, because like I said, they have to mine through this data, and by the time they get to the end, that's that's how they basically make their money. That's how they get the NFT. But the problem is that like the computing power of a server farm is far more than the computing power of just one guy with a graphics card, an extra CPU, GPU, computer lying around that they have mining. And that's why the prices of people trying to get consumer grade graphics cards have gone up because of these fucking crypto mining people. Because they buy up all the cards before anyone can do shit. And it's gonna lead to a lot of e-waste because I mean the way a lot of these cards are built now, you really can't recycle them. Like you can maybe recycle maybe
Yeah.
30-40% of the card, the rest of it's going in the trash.
Maybe you
it's
can
terrible.
maybe you can recycle the RAM and the capacitors, but
Yeah, but
definitely
crypto mining
but
is using
nothing.
those cards in a way that, like, even if you recycle the material, I mean, you can't really use it for like normal shit after that.
Yeah, you could you could always melt down the connectors and get like a thimble of gold.
You could theoretically.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's like guy was taking a whole bunch of RAM sticks and melting them down and getting it's like a lot of, it's like a big grocery bag of RAM sticks, and then melting them down in such a way that he could extract the gold from it, and it's like barely bigger than his thumb.
I mean, I
It's
guess
like,
that's
okay,
cool,
wow.
but I mean, gold isn't as valuable as people think. Like if you're gonna get a rare metal, platinum, it's more rarer than gold. Electrum, that's rarer than gold. There's better shit out there, but that's just me. But let's keep it moving. So Valve said we're banning this because it's shady as hell, and we don't want to be a party to it. So I mean, look, listen. Here's a company that did a good thing, um, and I'm okay with that. I know some people are going to be like, "How dare you?" When companies do good things, I think they should be rewarded. All right, because it's very easy to get mad at companies when they mess up, but when they do a good thing, they have to be. People need to know when they do something good. They need to get rewarded. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next topic, which is something near and dear to my heart, which is the worst RPGs we've ever played. So, who wants to go first?
Okay. You guys are probably not gonna agree with this. Um, but anyways, the game is Golden Sun Lost Stage.
All right.
Just because the I don't like the direction it went, where I got lost all the time, and it was very cryptic, and I just thought like, I prefer Pokemon.
I mean, that's your
But who knows?
prerogative.
Maybe there's other games that are like that in terms of RPGs, like maybe Final Fantasy. I like the gameplay of Golden Sun. I like the battle system, but I just felt like I couldn't get anywhere.
I mean,
And it represented everything. It represented a lot of problems I had with gaming as a kid. Either the game was
was
like too
too
smart for
cryptic.
me, or it was too, or like sometimes the platforming was too hard. But I liked platforming better. But yeah, too cryptic was a common thing as a kid.
I mean, RPGs are like that. Like, certain games, like you really got to be. Certain games challenge gamers to be better than they normally would be, because you have no
Yeah.
choice. If you don't get good, as they say, uh, you're not going to enjoy that game. Now, see, that's why I like RPGs. I like RPGs that challenge me, um, especially back then.
Like,
Now, I just don't have the time to play a lot of RPGs. But when I was younger, I was very much like okay, like I want to be challenged. I don't want dumbing down. Kanoshi, you want to go next? Worst RPG you ever
Uh,
played?
um, remake the remake the Final Fantasy VI on the on mobile.
Game Boy
I
Advance.
thought, yeah, not GBA, but like on mobile, like the iPhone or the Android.
Oh.
That art style
Atrocious.
was garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hot Butter. They took one of the greatest games ever made and made an artistic choice that made it worse. Like, how do you do that? Like one of the best JRPGs ever made, and you make it worse. How does that happen?
yeah,
Well, how else do you
yeah.
make it worse?
It
The art style is terrible. The menu system was terrible. Like
Oh, I
people like that game because of the art style and the gorgeous, the music and everything like that. And they literally took like part of the aspects of that game that made it terrible and made it worse. Like, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, and
mm.
it's one of those examples of these companies not giving a damn about their legacy software.
Did not care whatsoever. They were like, so I don't care. We're just gonna pimp this out. We don't care if it's good or not. Why do you care if it's good or not? Who are you as an old school fan gonna tell us if it's good or not? That's basically what they were saying.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I have quite a few, but I'll just go over three. Do you have another one, Kadoshi, or do you want to?
No, that's it.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. First one, Dragon Age 2. Uh, Dragon Age 2 is terrible. Um, and I used to wonder, why is this game so bad? And then I saw a documentary done on YouTube where they went behind the scenes and it explained why that game was so bad. And when I found out why Dragon Age 2 was so bad, I felt really bad about buying that game. Because the first Dragon Age Origin and Dragon Age Awakening are really good. Like, Dragon Age Origin is perhaps one of the best Western RPGs that I had played in a long time. Um, Dragon Age Awakening, the expansion to that, also pretty good.
Yeah.
But Dragon Age, um, Dragon Age 2, like Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Awakening, they made in 6 years. Okay? It took them 6 years to make those games. Do you know how long? Guess how long it took them to make Dragon Age Origin? I mean, Dragon Age Dragon Age 2.
How long?
18 months.
Wow.
So it's no surprise that the game was terrible. Yeah. Like, I've only seen one studio who you can give 18 months to 2 years to make a game, and the game will still be pretty damn good. And that's Obsidian.
Yeah.
Like, you can give Obsidian 18 months to make a game, and you'll get KOTOR 2. Or, Fallout New Vegas. And those are really good games. So it's like, okay, you kind of messed up a little bit, but the game is still good. But then you get this shit from BioWare. And I knew when they said they were making that, it was not going to be good. Because I was like, how are they getting this game out this quickly? Especially when Dragon Age Origin took like 6 years, like 5-6 years. And this game's only taken, like, they got it out and they announced it and then it came out like literally like 8-9 months later. I'm like, that makes no sense. And then I played the game and I realized that there were no individual character classes. Like, every single character class you could choose in the game was just a build that you could have done for any other character. The choices that you made in the game were binary. So one of the joys of playing a game with multiple choices is going to another save and making a different choice and seeing how that makes the story go in a different direction. Kind of like Choose Your Own Adventure. All the choices are binary. Like, if you choose the male character in the game, your sister dies. If you choose the female character in the game, your brother dies. If you choose to make a left versus a right, your mother dies either way. It's like, what? This game is just, it shows how lazy and how many shortcuts BioWare took in order to get that game to run. And it's sad because BioWare, I'm not saying BioWare was a great developer, because I've always felt BioWare is kind of overrated, but they used to be better than this,
Yeah, Inquisition improve upon anything, or did it just make everything even worse than that?
Have you ever played a really boring MMO?
Sure. I've heard about boring MMOs.
That's what Dragon Age Inquisition is. It's a really boring MMO.
Oh. It looks pretty and it's glitchy as hell. I figured the glitches would at least be fun, but
No,
I guess they weren't fun either.
no,
Well-
it's a boring ass MMO. That's all Dragon Age Inquisition is. It's a boring, half-assed MMO with no unique abilities for your character. You basically just keep on reusing the same shit over and over again. It's one of the worst designed RPGs, and the fact that people gave that Game of the Year is offensive to me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, BioWare, Dragon Age Inquisition. I mean, that's one of the reasons I left Player Essence. Was Furious Francis like, yeah, BioWare's back, baby. I'm like, this game is terrible. Why do you keep on like putting forward this narrative that Dragon Age Inquisition is a good game? Dragon Age Inquisition is terrible. It's not BioWare's back, you know?
Yeah. BioWare ain't ever coming back.
No. No. The BioWare that we grew up with, the BioWare that used to make really great games, that BioWare is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's dead. All right?
Yeah, you heard about, after reading about Anthem, it's like, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
BioWare's done. They're dead.
The fact that they had management saying, "Yeah, we wanted to make this game. This game is great. We always wanted to." It's like, you guys make RPGs. That's what you do. You make RPGs. Like, Anthem had to fail so that they would strip out the always online multiplayer portions from the next Mass Effect and Dragon Age game. They were going to put that into a single player RPG. Oh, this needs multiplayer. Why? You guys did
Not
the
every
same
game
thing
needs
with
multiplayer.
well, they did the same thing with Mass Effect 3. It had an online multiplayer component. And I'm like, why? 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 This makes no sense. It's like that song with Michael Jackson where he asks, why do you do me this way? Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why? And I'm a JRPG fanatic. Like, I love JRPGs are like my favorite. I mean, RPGs are my favorite genre. Okay, especially when I have the time to play them. But Kirby, you have to go. Well, give your sign out, and then we'll wrap things up.
Bye.
Okay, all right.
Yes, Nintendo gamers sign out.
Okay, okay. Well, we got a little bit of time left before we get to the end of the last topic. So, yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition was bad. Dragon Age Inquisition was bad because basically you could tell where they took where they clearly there was no clear vision for that game. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell where they clearly did not know what they were doing, where they were going, what they wanted that game to be. Like, I'm pretty sure in the beginning they're like, we're going to make a Dragon Age MMO. And then people are like, people don't want to play a Dragon Age MMO. And and so they were like, oh yeah, because our last game sucked so bad. Okay, so we'll take the same engine and we'll make a single player game. And it's just really bad. It's just like the story is not really explained. And hearing people sit there and say, well, it's not really that bad. Yes, it is that bad. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So for me, I just don't really at this point, I'm just at the point now where, like, someone says BioWare is making a game. I'm like, well, it's probably gonna suck because it's BioWare, and they love sucking these days. BioWare used to mean you were getting a quality game. BioWare doesn't mean that anymore. Okay. BioWare these days means, okay, you're gonna get a game and it's probably gonna have some issue with it that you're just gonna kind of sort of just roll with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, sadly, that's what we got to deal with now, folks. BioWare, but the only RPG studio I've seen who still can make really good RPGs is Western style studio is Obsidian. Obsidian still makes really good RPGs, but BioWare got infected with EA, and it's really hard for a studio to stay intact after they've been infected with EA. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
That's
it's
the EA bug.
like, once you get EA, it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we got bought by EA. Oh, you poor bastard. Well, give me your last will and testament so we can give, so your kids can get something. I'm not gonna die. No, you aren't. But your company is. Your studio's dead. It's just a matter. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. But
Yeah, exactly.
I know some people are going to get mad about that because people always get mad about shit like that. I'm not sure why, but anyway, guess keep it moving to our final topic. I didn't give my last worst RPG. I'll throw a JRPG in here. Paper Mario Sticker Star.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That game
I've heard
is offensive. No, go ahead, Kenoshi.
Yeah, I've not heard kind things about that game.
Yeah, that game is offensive. Like the other Paper Mario games, like Color Splash, Origami King, those are bad. But Sticker Star legitimately made me angry. Like the whole time I'm playing it, I'm just getting really, really mad. Like legitimately, just like really angry. Like,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
and you shouldn't get mad playing a video game. Like you shouldn't be like, man, I'm gonna kick somebody's ass. Like Sticker Star made me want to take my my 3DS and throw it on the ground. That's how bad that game was.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Because like okay, like here's the thing. Okay, here's the problem with Sticker Star. Paper Mario is already a very casual RPG series. Okay, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's already really really dumbed down and easy to get into. Okay,
Yeah.
but the problem is that they made it worse. They they made an already ultra casual franchise into an even more casual friend. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you don't have party members. You don't have party members. You don't have you don't have party members. You don't have party members. Um you don't have you don't buy new weapons. Like there's literally everything about the game is just like a series of bad design decisions. I mean, it's bad. It's like, why? That's the game. Sadly, that's what they gave us. You know, and if you say anything about it, like I've had people curse me out when I said that game is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's bad. Sticker Star is bad. Color Splash is bad. The other one is bad. They're all bad. They're not good. Like Paper Mario hasn't been good for years. Paper Mario hasn't been good since Super Paper Mario, and that game's a spin-off, but at least it's enjoyable. But the other Paper Mario games are just terrible. Um, Origami King is bad. They're all bad. They're not good. They're not enjoyable. Um, they treat the audience like they're just morons, and I hate that. I hate games that treat uh, their target audience like they're stupid. You know, oh, you're too dumb to play a hardcore RPG. You stupid ass. Anyway, on to the final topic. Nominating our a-hole of the week. Who wants to go first?
Uh, uh, I think Nintendo belongs on this list. Just in time. Just in time.
They've become the
We
a-hole
need
of the
that.
week.
Yeah.
Eh, I mean, I would personally give it to Activision Blizzard for doing some more shady shit this week, but I mean, it's not quite. It's shady. They're trying to hide it. Nintendo, legitimately out in the open, just released some stuff that is totally. It's not really a bargain for what they're charging,
Yeah.
and they're acting like they're doing you a favor. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, look at all these games we have. We're Nintendo. We can we can charge this much for our legacy products because we're Nintendo. We're here selling your childhood back to you, kids.
Yeah, yeah. Which here's the thing, okay? Nostalgia. That's nostalgia. Selling you shit, your childhood back to you. I'm not against nostalgia. I'm really not. But here's the thing, okay? In order for nostalgia to work, you have to make it easily accessible. Charging me $50 for a handful of games. Okay, like let me put it this way: I have a bigger library of games on my. I have a bigger library of N64 games than all of the games they have on Nintendo Online's library combined.
Yeah.
Let me reiterate that. I have a bigger library of N64 physical media than all of the games that Nintendo has on their library combined. Okay? That is pathetic. Okay? That's and the N64 had a very small. I think it's like the second smallest library Nintendo's ever had on a console. Okay? The library I have is bigger than that. That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Um so what I'm saying is that I mean Nintendo needs to step up their online games. They need to step it up. They either need to start doing more or charge more and give a better service. And I know some people are going to get angry by that and be like, well, I don't want to charge. Like, here's the thing: I'm not against paying more for better service. But if you're going to charge me an arm and a leg and not even give me a better service, what's the point,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least give. I know that Nintendo doesn't want to devalue their games, but at least games that are a few years old, maybe have those to play as well.
Yeah,
Something
but
or
we're not even
at least
asking them
look.
to devalue their games. We're asking them to make their legacy games available on their online um, market. That's all we're asking.
Ga- games that were available on the Wii U and the Wii.
That's it. People are saying, hey, here's what people are asking, okay? People are asking for we can at least have the games that you had available on the Wii U and the Wii and the 3DS available on the Switch online. That's it. That is not a huge amount.
Nope.
That's not that is not a prohibitive. That's not like, oh my god, this is you're asking for an arm and a leg. We're not. We're seriously not.
Nope.
We're literally just asking for a very I mean, how much would it take? Like, why do we have to beg for stuff that we had before? Like, that's my problem. Like, we have to beg for stuff that we had before. or we have to beg to have stuff that we had access to before. That's asinine.
Yeah.
That is legitimate. That's stupid. Okay. But that's what we have to deal with here.
I get it that they had to relicense a lot of those games.
Okay,
At
fair enough.
least the third party games, but
Fair enough. They had to relicense third party games. But that doesn't mean they had to relicense um that doesn't mean that
their
they had to
game.
relicense their own games.
Yeah.
Their own stuff, they didn't have to relicense. Okay? Which means we should be getting Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, um, Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Donkey Kong 64, um, GoldenEye. I know the character is, but that code for that game is Nintendo's, which is why they're the only ones who can re-release that version of GoldenEye. Like that's not, that's not like a huge oh my god we had to spend so much money thing. That's just I don't know what's going on over there. I really don't know. I have no idea, but it is some bullshit.
So I was thinking earlier today, it's like who's running that clown show over there at Nintendo?
I
Who
don't
runs that
know,
clown show?
but if this is Furukawa, if this is how Furukawa, the new president of Nintendo, is running things, man, he's no Satoru Iwata. That's all I'm gonna say. He is no Satoru Iwata, not even close. I know he's his own dude, but man, you are effing up right now, bro. It's not even funny how much you're effing up. But I know some people will disagree. Anyway, so yeah, I guess a-hole of the week is Nintendo for giving people this ridiculous pricing for such a paltry sum of games. Unless they do what they did, because I remember when the Wii Virtual Console first came up, it kind of had a minuscule amount of games, but then over the months, like it seemed to almost every month they were adding new stuff, and it was pretty nice. So
Or get things out faster. But I guess it's all right. I don't know. Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
I mean,
Gonna have to wait and see.
I know they have to relicense stuff, but I mean, like, here's the thing: Nintendo has money. Like, if Nintendo said, "Okay, we're charging $60 a year, but you get access to all of our first party games and second party exclusives," like, no one would say anything.
Yeah.
Like, people be like, "Okay, it's worth it." But I mean, this bullshit, this mediocre ass bullshit that they're pulling is it's unacceptable, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of the cast. Stay tuned for Wednesday's cast where we talk about the 20th anniversary of the Xbox. Now, to be fair, I never owned an Xbox. I'm just gonna let you know, I never owned an OG Xbox. I had friends who had an Xbox. I just knew it as the Halo machine because that's basically what they had it for.
Yeah.
So that'll be Wednesday's cast. But as far as that's going, that's the end of this podcast. Anything you want to pimp out, Kenoshi? Before we
Oh
wrap things
yeah.
up?
Finally have a name, or at least a temporary name for my podcast. The podcast is named Project Console. That's on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Where we just go over uh, this week's news and a select topic at the near the end. So Yeah, usually it's roughly around an hour, hour and a half, just depending on, But I like to keep it around an hour and a half, so uh, at the most, at the most. So yeah, check it out.
All right. Uh, so um, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. If you would like to get in touch with the channel, you can reach us at the um, at the in the description section. There's links to all of us who have social media things. So you can reach me via Gmail, mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com, Twitter at mrredfox91, etc., etc. There's a link to the Discord. That's in this cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining, and hype responsibly. Peace.